You're listening to Little Green Cheese, episode 51. Well, welcome back, Curd Nerds. Today we've got an interview, and it's with Rashel Harris. And Rashel lives in Texas in the United States of America. She also has a farmstead, I think runs a farmstead, and has, I think, a cow. One cow? Two cows? Yeah.
Well, they kind of keep reproducing, so...
All right, so you have cows, and they have names. She also blogs at thepromiselandfarm.com and has a 10-part video series on cheese making on YouTube. Which is probably the only other cheese-making series that I can find besides my own YouTube channel. Welcome to the show, Rashel.
Hey, Gavin. It's very good to be here.
Thank you for turning up. I know we've had to reschedule once. Different time zones between Australia and Texas. It's very hard
hours.
very hard to connect. All right, so first question to you, which I ask just about everybody, is why did you start cheese making?
I found out that what I eat, I wanted to have better quality food, and I couldn't buy it at the grocery store, and I was having to drive really far to get good quality milk, and it was like 5 hours. I mean, just to get good pastured, raw, good Jersey milk. And then I realized we had the land and the resources and the time. Why don't we just get a cow? And so we got a Jersey cow, and then I realized I have too much milk. I need to make cheese. I love cheese, and then I realized how good it is for you, the nutritional benefits, and I can't buy it. I can't buy good raw milk cheese. You know, it's so expensive, and it's very hard to get a hold of, where I am at least. I mean, you have to drive, and it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And you don't know really if the cows have been taken care of, and you don't know the quality of the milk. So that's why I make my own cheese.
Oh, fantastic!
And it tastes good too.
Yeah, it does. So you don't pasteurize your milk?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay. No. All right. So so all the cheeses are raw milk. So that's
right.
And the good thing is, I suppose for you, is that you can go from the cow to the cheese pot within an hour or so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The milk comes out of the cow like 100 degrees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it comes out pretty warm. Yeah.
So 100 degrees, 38 Celsius, just converting for everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I use like the cold milk. My cow produces about approximately 2 to 3 gallons of milk a day. So like, what is that in your
2 to 3 gallons. So 2 gallons is 8 litres and then 12 litres. Yeah, for 3 gallons. Yeah. Yep.
And so it takes me 2 days of milk to make like a 4 to 6 gallons of cheese.
Yeah. So how many pounds of cheese does that make?
6 pounds of cheese is 6 gallons.
6 pounds, that's about 3 kilos. Yeah, that's a big cheese.
It's a big cheese.
Yeah.
Or 4 gallons of milk is 4 pounds of cheese.
Yeah.
Approximately, depending on the cheese, you know?
Yeah.
You know, how much you get out of it, but
yeah, exactly.
Or like the time of year, you know, like if we have really lush grass, then we get a better yield.
Yeah, for sure. So because you've got your own milk, you don't use any other type. There's no goat milk that you use. You don't make goat's milk cheese or anything like that.
No, I don't.
Oh, that's all right.
Cow's milk.
That's all right. Just checking, just in case you had a goat next door or something.
I was tempted to.
I bet. So what are some of your favourite cheeses you like to make?
My family, they like, I like all kinds of cheeses, and if it was up to me, I would make the stinkers and the firm ones and the graters and I don't know, but my family just likes mild cheeses, so they like Parmesan, so I do that a lot.
Yep.
They like Monterey Jack and Colby and cheddar. I like things that I can age, and then like I make cheese like 4 months out of the year really heavily, 4 or 5 months,
Yep.
and then the grass stops dropping off. And then I want to have that cheese that I make during that time, I want to have it last me at least a year in the cheese fridge.
Yeah, sure.
So I try to pick cheeses that last well.
Okay. So
and that don't get too strong, because my I guess I could teach my kids to like that flavor, but I have yet to succeed.
Yeah. So by stinkers, do you mean things like Munster and Brick and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, they like camembert and
Oh,
they like brie. They like camembert brie,
right.
but like blue cheese and yeah, yeah, all the a lot of the rubbed cheeses that are rubbed with bee linens
Yeah.
and the molds and stuff. They're really delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make a couple of them for me
Oh, okay. Just for you.
and my husband. He'll eat a little.
Yeah, I haven't started making any washed rind cheeses yet. I have the bacteria in the freezer, but I haven't. Yeah, I haven't ventured that far yet because they do take a lot of work, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit more work, but they're really delicious. They're worth trying for sure.
All right, I'll have to give it a go and put a video up and see how that goes, because people have been asking for, I think Munster and what's the other one? There's a brick cheese, I think, and Tellagio
Yeah, yeah, I've made those. Those are good. And they're not that hard. Like and they ripen pretty fast. Get it?
in a month.
Yeah, it was faster than normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the it wasn't hard to make. You'd think it'd be hard, but I think those are a little easier than like a real cheddar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, they're nice and
they're
quick.
easier to get them to turn out. It seems like they turn out. Your chances of them turning out good
Yeah.
is high. I don't know
Fantastic.
why that is.
Fantastic. So you make all this cheese. How do you store it?
I have a cheese fridge. Well, and it's not really a cheese fridge. It's a wine fridge that I just use for cheese, and I bought two of them. I probably should have just bought a huge refrigerator and put a thermostat because you make cheese and you have to store it, and it takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
So I'm running out of room. They're both full.
Right.
Anyways,
So
it's not ideal.
So
I
is-
want a cave in the ground.
is it your cheese making season at the moment?
Yes,
Right.
right now.
So that's why your cheeses are full and your fridges are full.
Fridges are full, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But the problem with the fridge is the humidity, and I've really tried everything possible. I don't know my climate. I wouldn't consider it dry, but the fridge is very hard to get above 40 degrees humidity.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah. So I've got
Yeah.
so using wine fridges that kind of suck the humidity out of the fridge, don't they? But they keep the right temperature.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I used to have one of those, and it gets
Yeah.
really hot here in summer. Like we're talking 45 Celsius. So what's that in Fahrenheit? That's 113 Fahrenheit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it gets quite hot sometimes.
We're 105.
Yeah.
We're at 105 where we are. 113 is pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. We only get a few days like that, but they're getting more and more. But I had a wine fridge that I could
Yeah.
set at 13, but it couldn't hold its temperature. It kept on going up to 20, 25, and the cheeses start to sweat. So I had to get one of those under the bar fridges, the small bar fridges. Yeah. So and then I had to get an external thermostat for that. And the good thing is, because it's got a little freezer unit, which actually doesn't work because I don't keep it at the right temperature, it actually gets condensation in there, so it keeps it quite humid. It keeps it automatically about 80% humidity, so which is
Really?
which is
I'm
really
so
good.
jealous.
So
That's called a. Okay, wait. A bar fridge that has like a freezer in it?
yeah, a little freezer, but the thing is, because I've got an external thermostat, it only comes on for about half an hour a day to keep it at 13 Celsius, or what's that, 55 Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, so, and then it keeps the humidity because all the condensation from the old freezer. So, yeah, it works like a treat.
Oh, I wish I would have known that. I've tried everything. I blogged about it, but it all is too much work and it all breaks. And no, nothing works. So don't tell me to use some reptile humidifier with water that bubbles. It doesn't work. It doesn't raise the humidity enough.
Yeah.
Wet wet towels do not work. I don't maybe if you live somewhere really humid, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then what else doesn't work? I have little mini humidifier that does work.
Yeah.
But you have to keep putting water in it and it gets clogged up and dirty, so you got to like clean it and vinegar it, and
Yeah.
it's a mess.
It's a pain.
I don't know. I don't have time for that.
No. Time for eating and making, but it's the maturation that's the tricky part of cheese making, I think. So
That's right.
speaking of maturation, so how do you prepare your cheese for storage? So if it's a hard cheese like a cheddar, how do you prepare it? Do you Whack.
Yeah.
Here, I'll let you
can't-
talk. You go.
I know. This is like my favorite subject to talk about. Okay, when I started, ideally, I want to have like a humidity of 80 to 90 degrees. And if I could get that, then I would bandage wrap all my cheeses with like the cheese wrap, and I have lots of tallow. And it works really well, but only if you can keep the humidity up in your refrigerators, because otherwise your cheeses dry out and crack.
Yeah.
And they get too dry. But that's my favorite way, because it's like traditional. The cheeses breathe, and it keeps them moist, and then you get a good flavor in the cheese because you get molds. But then the problem is you have to brush them and you have to turn them.
Yeah.
You have to give your cheeses lots of love. And I have small children and a farm, and oh my goodness, it was intense. And then the humidity thing in the fridge was too low. So, okay, wait. And then I've tried, what else have I tried as a flop? I've tried the paraffin wax. But because my humidity is really low, I'll get cracking. And then
In the
cracks,
wax?
you're screwed. In the wax, yeah. And then, if you don't catch it in time and re-wax it, it gets mold in there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It can ruin your, which is really disappointing when you've, spent an entire day making this beautiful wheel of cheese. So, what I've gone to after 6 years of making cheese flops is vacuum sealing my cheeses.
And that does work, I know, because I have a vacuum. Yeah, and really, I know that a lot of traditionalists won't go there because they say the cheese can't breathe and all that sort of stuff. But if you, like you said, you spend a whole day making cheese, the last thing you want to do is for it to dry out and crack. And you look, if your only option is vacuum packing, I do it too, especially in summer when it gets really hot here and the humidity goes down in the fridge a little bit for whatever reason, I don't know. But I vacuum pack as well. So
it works really well. It keeps out the mold and the humidity stays good, and it's idiot proof, and I need that.
Yeah, and you can write on the plastic. Yeah.
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 It's so easy.
Yeah, and
anyway, I've gone to that.
Yeah, so I tend to so if I cut the cheese once it's mature, I cut the cheese in half, and then I'll reuse the plastic and I'll put half in there still, and then vacuum pack it again. And that way you don't have to waste too much plastic. So I just reuse it. It's easy to do.
Oh, that's a good idea. Wait, so when your cheese is mature, you can cut it in half.
Yeah.
And then, because my problem is I can never eat all my cheeses in time.
Yeah, same here. So because I make so much now, so I'm making a cheese a week probably. So if I have vacuum packed it, and even if I haven't, if I've waxed it and then taken the wax off, cut the cheese in half, we'll consume half over about a period of a month. And then the other half will just go in the normal refrigerator at the back of the freezer. So when it's winter time, we pull it out again and away we go, and we can eat it. So it stores for a long time. It slows down the aging. It's really good. So.
And do you put it back into your refrigerator when you cut it and you vacuum seal it, that half? Do you put that in your cheese fridge, or do you put it in your colder fridge?
No, in the normal kitchen fridge. So at 4 degrees Celsius at, 50 Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then it just slows it down. You can eat it anytime you like.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to do that. Thanks for that tip.
That's all right. No problems. So do you have because you've got a full cheese fridge, have you got a routine, turning, all that sort of stuff?
No.
No.
when I walk by the laundry room, I look at it. I'm like, oh, I need to turn those. Wait, I'm going to do it tomorrow.
And you forget.
Tomorrow I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn them now. No, actually, my little girl, she's 5 now. And she says, Mommy, I went and I turned all the cheeses. And I think there's a cheese that's ready. Let's eat it. Can we eat it?
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So she's your cheese turner.
Yeah, it's really unscientific. When I first started, I was really good about it and diligent, but anyway, I kind of laid back. It still works.
Even if you miss a week, it doesn't matter. I've even missed it for 2 weeks, except for the bloomy rinds, which I find that you've got to turn them daily. Excuse me. You've got to turn them daily just about to get that bloom. Yeah. The cheddars, I'll just leave them in the back of the fridge. I'll be right.
I love the blooming rinds, like the brie or camembert. It's like the same cheese.
Yeah.
It always turns out for me, and it's always so good. That is worth making. Even though, if I make a cheese like that, I put a sticky note like right where I'll see it. And I'll make sure I turn that one every day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it won't form right. But if I have low maintenance cheeses, then I don't even bother with it.
Yeah.
Unless I think about it, and then I go flip everything in the fridge.
Yeah. I flip. So when I put the new cheese in, then I'll flip all the other ones as well. So that's once a week. That's just the routine.
Right.
That's just the routine I've got. And
Yeah.
because I post a YouTube video up on Sunday nights Australian time, that kind of prompts me to go and check the cheese fridge, see what's in there for the next video or whatever, and go from there. So no, that's cool. No, that's good.
Actually, I'm kind of I make cheese out of necessity because I don't want to waste my milk. And pretty much, I have really, 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 really rich milk because I have a cow that doesn't have a calf on her,
Right.
and she's 100% Jersey, and so she gives me really thick cream, like thick, thick, thick.
Yeah.
And so I actually skim some of the cream off, and so at about day 3 of milking, I like have to make milk, or my refrigerators, or I have to make cheese because my refrigerators just fill with milk. And anyway, so I skim a lot of the cream because it's so heavy. I think the cheese would just be like triple cream.
Yeah. So do you know what percentage of fat is in the milk? Is it about 4.5, 5?
Okay, I'm going to ask Google.
Oh, you're going to ask Google for Jersey milk? I think it's about 5 by memory.
Okay. Jersey milk cream. Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. And if you don't have a calf on the cow, like if you're not sharing with the calf, the mothers give you everything, and you get a really high percentage of butter fat. And if you're not like doing a big milk tank, like all the milk that I milk is from one cow.
Right, yeah.
And so it's not milk, it's not mixed with a bunch of milk from several cows. And so when you have several cows together and you have unhomogenized milk where the cream rises to the top, it seems like it's almost impossible to get the right amount of cream with the skim milk. And so you kind of get gypped a little bit when you buy milk from someone that has lots of cows. I think that's my opinion.
That's your yes. So that no, that's a good philosophy for getting a single house cow.
Yeah. Well, because we like our coffee cream.
Nice.
And we like it thick. So for ice cream and coffee cream and butter, you want lots of cream.
You know, that's very rare over here in Australia. Nobody puts cream in their coffee.
Really?
No, we just put normal full cream milk.
Oh. Huh.
And even
Well, that's...
and there's a big coffee culture where I come from here in Melbourne that they make all the coffees with milk. So they don't put hot water in it. They just put milk and then the coffee shot.
Yeah.
So it's like espresso.
They use whole milk. They use whole milk, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but they never put cream. Nobody puts cream in their coffee.
Oh, have you ever tried it?
Yeah. It's a bit extreme. I know that must sound silly.
Hold on a minute. Do you like ice cream?
Yeah, we make our own ice cream.
Okay, there you go. So you're getting it still in your diet.
Oh, of course. And then all the cheese, goodness. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. So, hang on. I've got to find my next question now. Sorry, put me off. So when you first started making cheese, where did you get all your equipment and stuff like that? Did you just source it locally, op shops, that sort of stuff?
No, I got it from New England Cheese Making Company because I live in and that was a really good source because I could get just like a little bit of culture and a little bit of like cheese making supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still use those guys?
I've gone to a website called getculture.com.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you heard of them?
No.
Let's see. I think it's because it's an American. It's in the for America, but I can get bigger quantities.
Yeah.
And it's not as expensive. New England Cheese Making Company, I think, is better for like people that don't make a lot of cheese all the time. They're kind of for like the hobby cheesemaker that wants to make once in a while. But like, it's pretty intense if you have a cow and you have to make cheese all the time.
Yeah.
You know. So I get it from getculture.com.
Oh, okay.
I can get bigger quantities and not have to get little packets. I can get like, the big packet.
Yeah. So we started shipping. We started shipping earlier on the year to the US, and we actually had quite a few customers. So
I bet.
Yeah, so which is really good. All the way from Australia, shipping cultures to the US, and half the cultures have come from Europe anyway. So they nearly do a full circle around the world. So it's quite funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, all the ones I buy, I think they're all from Europe.
Yeah,
they all have those weird names, and can't really understand what it says on the packet.
Yeah, yeah. You just hope for the best and just go by the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started buying direct set because I used to make like my own like mesophilic culture that you continue.
Yeah,
to
mother
make it, and
culture.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, mother culture. But it was kind of unpredictable. And the contamination possibilities with everything I do in my kitchen was just too much to keep up.
Yeah, yeah. I've never tried a mother culture. I think direct vac inoculation is
Yeah.
so easy.
It's way better. Yeah, way better.
Yeah,
Don't do it. Don't
a
waste your time.
yeah, it is because you get mixed results. Really do.
Yep.
I've actually been reading a book by what's his name, David Asher, lately.
Okay.
There's a big have a look at that. Hang on,
Yeah.
I'll just grab it. Ugh. Yeah, it's called the Art of Natural Cheese Making. Now he uses kefir as the culture for just
nice.
about everything.
No way.
Oh
Really?
yeah, 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 yeah. So he's got it's quite a good book. I got it. I haven't tried anything yet because I haven't been able to get my hands on any kefir grains.
Ooh,
But
how
yeah,
about I can send you some. Is it legal?
oh, I don't know.
I
Is
have
it?
I have kefir like growing on my counter all the time.
Yeah,
They're like the best little grains in the world.
yeah,
You just have to know someone that has them. And
yeah. I'm
they
sure I can
share
get them here somewhere. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I've seen some imitation kefir though, like they're it's a powdered culture, but it's not the same.
Oh yeah, don't get that.
It's got to be the
That's
grains, doesn't it?
the grains, yeah.
Yeah. So
And they're super easy to take care of.
Yeah.
Like, they require no effort or brain power to
Well,
keep alive.
he uses kefir in every single recipe, and there's about 10
Wow.
10 or 15 cheeses, I think, and he includes, and the kefir also, and because you use raw milk, all the
Yeah.
recipes are for raw milk, so
Oh, that's lovely.
be right up your alley. I think he's from New York. He's actually come to Australia once and taught a couple of classes in Sydney and Melbourne, so he's quite popular amongst cheesemakers here. People are trying his recipes anyway, so it's very hard to get raw milk unless you've got your own cow like you have here, because they banned the sale of raw milk within Victoria anyway, so yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's bad. Bad for cheesemakers, so I have to resort to pasteurised, unhomogenised. So that's what I can
Yeah,
get, which works all right. The cheeses turn out all right, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
So what words of encouragement would you have for newbie cheesemakers or new curd nerds who are thinking about starting to make cheese?
Well, cheese making, I think, is a good complement to just like people that want to eat healthy and people that like to, feed their families good, nutritional food. I think cheese is a superfood. And also, cheese making is a good complement to just whatever you're doing around the house. Because it's like you do a little bit and then you wait for an hour. Do a little bit more and you wait for another hour, Okay, but then there's like 45 minutes where it's
Stirring.
hell.
Yeah.
Where you have to stir.
Yeah.
And believe me, stir.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years before I realized if you don't stir, your cheeses are going to be bitter. Okay, there's a tip for you.
Yeah.
Stir. It says stir.
So
Stir
stir the milk. It's not that hard to stir the curds.
I'm busy. I stay at home and I take care of the children and the farm. And I'm busy, but you need to stir. That 40 minutes, stir those curds, and you can go away for the bathroom break or whatever.
Yeah.
The kid's crying, but go back and stir it. 'Cause
Exactly.
If you don't, it gets bitter. And, okay, what other tips? Oh, it's people think they're too busy, but I think you can find time to make cheese, and you won't ever find a cheese that is as healthy for you, I think, as the one you make.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree because, I just make the time. I actually book cheese making in my calendar. So if I know I've got a free weekend, I slot one day and I'll put it in the calendar and say, I'm making cheese X. I'll look through my masses of cheese book recipes and have a look.
Right.
So, because the book I wrote, I've made all those. I don't need to make them anymore. So I'm looking for all different recipes. So there's a few other books I'll recommend if people don't mind. Oh, I've got to reach for it. This one's a Canadian one, which is pretty good because it's in metric and US Imperial as well. It's called 200 Easy Homemade Cheese Recipes and it's by Deborah Amrain Boyles. So you may already have it.
Oh, that sounds neat. I don't have that one yet.
Yeah, so this is the one I'm currently working from, and
Nice.
every cheese I've made has turned out well. So
Oh, nice. Well, that's a good. I'm gonna have to get that one.
yeah, so no, that's a good one. I'll put that in the show notes of the podcast as well. So the two books that I've talked about this week.
I've got one book I really, really like. Have you heard of this one?
I actually have, but I don't have it because I couldn't get it.
Oh, it's really good.
Yeah?
You need it. Okay, it's called Mastering Artesian Cheesemaking. The Ultimate Guide for Home, Scale, and Market Producers. And the author is, I can't say her name correctly, but oh goodness. Okay, Cadwell is her last name.
Oh, okay.
Caldwell. Her first name, I think, is, okay, it's hard. It's Giag.
Hold it up and I'll have a go.
Giannalis.
Oh, you have to hold it. Yeah, Gianna Silas, something like that. Close.
Is that Italian or? I don't know.
It sounds Italian.
Italian. I'm bad with Italian. So. Anyway, that book is excellent, and the reason why it's so good is because I like to know the reason why I'm doing things, and she is extremely detailed, and she goes through like the scientific stuff about everything you do, but it also is written for like the lay person that doesn't, like, I don't have a nerdy brain. I have more like a just tell me plainly ABC, XYZ, and that's what she does, but she goes into a lot of detail about everything, and it's awesome.
All right.
And all her recipes do turn out really good, and she's got like all the cheeses in there. Like, I think almost every single one.
All right, fantastic. Are the measurements in metric and imperial?
Good question. Let's see. I never pay attention to that. Yeah, they are. Look at that.
Oh,
yes,
fantastic.
They are. Both, yes. She puts the Celsius and stuff in parentheses next to the Fahrenheit.
Nice, because a lot of US cheese books that I have do not, and I have to convert in pencil.
And she's got like the liters in here too.
Oh, fantastic!
She's got grams. Yeah, so she does it.
Oh, good, because that really makes a cheese making book, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
All right, cool. Any other tips?
Let's see what else. It's fun to make cheese. If you have kids, get them involved. They love it. They love to eat the curds and rest the cheese, and you're passing on an old tradition that's been lost. It's been kind of hard for me to learn how to make cheese because I don't know anyone that milks a cow, first of all. I don't know anyone that makes cheese, or I didn't before,
Well, you do now.
And, I do now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I do, but there's not many people that are interested in it. And it's a great hobby because, you get to eat the cheese. A lot of, and you can share it with family and friends, and you look like a superhero. People are like, "You make cheese?"
Yeah, you got a superpower.
Yeah, you have superhero status.
Yeah.
And everyone loves cheese. I mean,
They do. They love eating it. Yeah.
And also, if you're sensitive to milk and lactose and stuff, cheese is great because it's a fermented, product that the lactose is reduced so much.
Especially the harder cheeses like Parmigiana and Romano and the Alpine cheeses, because there's hardly any lactose in them at all because they've been aged so well.
That's right.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, I've run out of questions. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners?
I'm fixing on. I haven't done any cheese videos in a while because I've been so busy having kids and taking care of the farm. But I think I'm going to get back at it. And my next post I'm hoping to do next week is how to make queso.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever tried that one?
Yeah, I've made queso fresco. So it's I've made a video.
Is that like the smooth queso?
No, that's
like a dip.
So
did you try the dip?
So there's two. There's queso blanco. Oh, well, there's probably more, but these are the ones I can only find recipes for. So queso blanco is a bit like, like cream cheese, but on steroids. And the queso fresco, which is a pressed cheese, I've made that one.
Okay, wait. Okay, I'm thinking about I'm using a different terminology. When I think of queso in America, I'm thinking like queso dip, like a dip for chips.
Yes, so that'll be.
You guys ever use like a cheese dip?
No.
Oh, it's so good. You eat chips and cheese dip
Oh, with
in
nachos,
Australia?
because they have like melted
With
cheese sauce on
nachos.
top. Yeah,
Cheese sauce. Okay, I need to
yeah,
call it cheese sauce.
that's all right.
I have the best recipe for cheese sauce. It'll knock your socks off.
Can
And
you
it's
send it to
so
me?
easy to make. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, shoot it through and I'll put it in the show notes and everybody in the whole world can make it then.
Yeah, that's true. I'm planning on doing it. I have the video footage all done. I just need to make the blog post, and by next week I should have it done.
All right.
But it's so easy to make, and it's like a fermented. It's fermented 24 hours,
Mm.
and it doesn't use any flour or butter or anything like that. It's just like mesophilic culture, baking soda,
Yeah.
salt,
Oh.
and the milk.
Oh,
And it's fermented 24 hours. Oh, it has a drop of rennet.
right.
And
Yep.
then fermented 24 hours, and then it's hung in a pillowcase.
Yep.
And then you add the baking soda and you blend it and warm it up slightly. And the flavor from the fermentation, and you add salt, and if you want to add whatever you want to it, like herbs or salsa or something to make it spicy.
Yeah.
It's incredibly good.
Nice.
So good. You can use it as like a spread on sandwiches or on bagels, like a soft cheese spread.
Yeah.
Or you warm it. If you warm it up, it turns liquid.
Oh, right.
So then you use it for chips and nachos or wherever you would want a cheese that's liquid.
Nice. Sounds
It tastes
really
like-
good.
In America, we have a bad cheese called Velveeta. Have you heard of that?
Is it made by
Velveeta.
Kraft?
Yeah.
And it's in a
It
blue.
tastes really
Is it in
good.
a blue box?
It's like, I don't know. I think it's yellow. Velveeta.
No, we
People
don't
make
have that
macaroni
here.
and cheese with it in America. It's like eating
It's processed,
petroleum.
right?
Really processed.
Yeah.
Really, really processed.
So it's not
Anyway,
really cheese.
This tastes like that,
Right.
but better.
Right.
Like you know how some of our homemade cheeses don't really stand up sometimes to the store cheeses. People are like, that doesn't taste like store cheese.
That's because they add so much crap to their cheese. That's why.
I know. This is the only thing though that non-believers love.
Non-cheese. Yeah.
Non-cheese curds.
Yeah. Non-curd nerds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And people that don't want to make cheeses that are hard to make, that take all day to make, this is the cheese that's up their alley.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll
I've
get
never
you that
had any.
recipe.
I've actually never had it because I take a quarter of each wheel to work for my work colleagues. I've never had anybody say that doesn't taste like whatever. They go, oh, what new cheddar? Because I've never tasted anything but cheddar. So, they're very, unless there's, a couple of people that have probably had a cheese platter or something like that. But the thing is, I find that a lot of people don't realise that you've got to bring your cheese to room temperature before you get the full flavour. So when you take it out of the fridge,
Yeah.
you leave it for, an hour before you even tuck into
Right.
it because the flavour just goes crazy. It's just amazing. So,
I need to do that. I don't have much patience.
Oh.
I take it out and cut it, and then we
and eat it. Yeah, right.
do that. That's a
But if
good idea.
if you do a cheese platter, right, just
you're
leave it on the side for an hour, and then you'll find that the flavour is just so much different.
That's neat.
There you go.
Well,
That's my tip.
I'm gonna do that. That's a good tip.
Good.
Thanks.
Righto. So what's the best place people can contact you on the internet if they want to ask you any questions?
Facebook.com, The Promised Land Farm. If you just search for The Promised Land Farm on Facebook, you can find me on there.
Okay.
And I have a blog, or website at thepromisedlandfarm.com.
So that's promise without an ed. So it's promise, not promised.
That's right, promise.
Right.
Yep.
thepromisedlandfarm.com. And that's where everybody can find Rashel if they want to ask her any questions about how
Yeah.
she makes cheese over there in Texas. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today, Rashel. Really had a good time having a
Hey.
chat and a natter to you.
I'm a fellow listener too. I'm a fan of you
Oh.
over here in America, and we really enjoy your podcast and your cheese book. I have that because you can't learn enough. It's fun to learn from.
That's
other
right.
people
I've
that are
got so many cheese books. And before I started finding all these cheese books, I thought I'm going to write my own because I couldn't find them
Yeah.
here in Australia. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
Anyway, really enjoy your YouTube video.
Oh, thank you
Your
so
YouTube
much.
Videos and podcasts. It's a good way to learn. We
Yeah.
follow everything that you produce. So keep it coming.
Thank
Lots
you
of people
very
are
much.
listening.
Well, yes, I'm gonna go into my Facebook groups today and ask for more, any interviewees. So I'll see if I can drum up some more. It's been lovely talking to you, Rashel.
You too, Gavin.
All
Thank
right.
you for speaking with me.
That's all right. See you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Well, I think you'll agree that Rashel is quite an experienced and knowledgeable home cheese maker. Really enjoyed my chat with her today. Don't forget that the books that we mentioned in the show, I'll put those into the show notes. And hopefully, if she sends it through in time, I will pop in the queso recipe that she was talking about, the cheese sauce of sorts that is made very naturally indeed. Oh, I think it's home time. Alrighty. For upcoming workshop dates and all of my equipment, supplies and cultures and cheesemaking kits, pop over to littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Over there you can also find my cheesemaking ebook, Keep Calm and Make Cheese, the beginner's guide to cheesemaking at home. You can also find it on Amazon and iTunes. Thanks for listening, Curd Nerds, and don't forget to check out my YouTube channel where you'll find lots and lots of cheesemaking video tutorials. You can find that at cheeseman.tv. Thanks for hanging around till the end. During this podcast, you heard royalty-free music by Kevin MacLeod. I played Malt Shop Bop and Call to the Dairy Cows. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.